Kenya constructed a 472 kilometers long SGR at an approximated cost of 3.2 billion Kenya shillings. Compare that to Ethiopia's 756 kilometers long SGR, built at just 3.4 billion Kenya shillings. To add salt to injury, Kenya's SGR is still diesel powered, while Ethiopia's is the first electric railway in Africa. Therefore, questions are rising. Did Kenya's SGR be overpriced? Or was Ethiopia's SGR built as an inferior railway? Or maybe none of the two? Join us as we discuss this factor, this story. This is Africa Explained, your home, African economics, political, and social futures. Please like and subscribe. In Kenya, land is privately owned. And therefore, when constructing the railway, the government had to compensate every landowner at the market price of the land, which dramatically rose upon news that a railway will be passing through this parcel of land. They have compared that to Ethiopia, where land is publicly owned. Thus, the government simply would tell a community or a family to migrate from one region to another to allow the construction of the railway, with little or no compensation, thus raising the price of construction. Passes through some heavily densely populated regions. Thus, the government had to build in more railway stations so as to allow the local community to connect more easily to the SGR. Thus, a total of 38 railway stations were built along the Kenyan SGR. Compare that to Ethiopia's, which passes through mostly low densely populated regions. Thus, only 18 railway stations were constructed along the length of the Ethiopian SGR. The Kenyan SGR was to have a capacity of transporting 22 million tons of cargo per year, compared to Ethiopia's transit capacity of 10 million tons of cargo per year. Thus, to allow the increased capacity of their trains, the Kenyan SGR was opted to be a double-stack wagon, thus needing more foundations, more stronger machinery to allow the construction and the capacity of double-stacked, thus increasing its eventual. Though aimed to connect Nairobi to Mombasa and make transport more efficient, its eventual goal was to ensure a linkage between the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, South Sudan, and Rwanda, all connected to Mombasa port. Thus, expecting a huger volume of transport and passengers, the Kenyan government, by its SGR, bought 4 passenger trains and 50 freight trains for the increased transport capacity. Compare that to Ethiopia's main goal of linking Ethiopia, which is a landlocked country, to Djibouti's seaport. Thus, Ethiopia bought 3 passenger trains and 30 freight trains as to allow the transportation of people and goods. Thus, the increased passenger trains and increased freight trains in Kenya meant an increased cost. Kenyan SGR had a unique challenge on its hand. In order to be passed through the most efficient route possible, it had to pass through 2 national parks. That's the Tsavo National Park and the Nairobi National Park. In order to approve the construction of the railway through the parks, wildlife conservatives and environmentalists forced the government to agree to build huge overpasses of the railway. Thus, that would allow wildlife migration and hindered access below the railway line. The huge overpasses that were built within the 2 parks meant an increased cost for the project. Besides building the SGR, the Ethiopian government at the same time was also constructing the Ethiopian Grand Reconnaissance Dam that has an estimated capacity of producing more than 6,000 megawatts of power, thus making it a cheap and affordable source of power. That's the reason why the Ethiopian government could electrify its railway at a cheap and moderately affordable cost. On the other hand, the Kenyan government could not even dare or attempt to think of electrifying its railway, because even at the current circumstances, Kenya is mostly prone to power outages and power shortages and blackouts at the current circumstances. Both the Kenyan and the Ethiopian SGR seems to have been built to support each country's plans and objectives. But fundamental questions have been raised, with both railways making losses up to now. Was there a need to build brand new railways? Shouldn't maybe have the governments upgraded their existing railways? Or what else was needed to be done to these railways? Or maybe other governmental infrastructures along the two countries and along the region. Comment if you've loved this explainer video. Please consider to hitting the like button. And if you wish for even more of African economics, political and social factors explained to you, then consider subscribing to Africa Re-Explained.